Hi, and welcome to the Jasmine Star Show. My name is, wait for it, Jasmine Star. And here on the podcast, we talk about life, business, and everything on the in-between. I have to tell you that I had a thought the other day. I was chatting with a few of my friends online, and these are girlfriends that I've known since I was 14 years old. And we've grown up together, and we've seen the highs and lows of life and business and aspirations. And given what's going on in the world, and given how far we are apart from each other at this point in time, we've prioritized setting up Zoom calls just to check in, see how things are going. And I hung up the call. What is this, 1991? I got off the Zoom call. I clicked leave meeting, and I thought to myself, I don't know if it's easy to be my friend. And let me get into it. I do think that I am a thoughtful person, and I try my best to respond in text messages in a timely manner, and I'm really good at sending memes to my friends. I speak in meme. But what I fail to consider is that oftentimes when I'm having a conversation with my friends, I turn it into, a coaching session. Like, my poor friends have to work with me as if they're subscribed to the podcast in real life. Okay, so let me explain. If somebody texts me a question, I always use the approach that we use on the inside of Social Curator. So the team and I created a framework for how we coach people, and we call it the QUAA method. I know. I came up with this terrible idea, but it's actually an acronym. So QUAA, C-U-A-A. Because we believe that there's always Q, a question. But I've come to know that there's always U, an underlying question, before we get to A, the answer, and then we ask for A, accountability. Question, underlying question, answer, and accountability. That's QUAA. And so I know my friends definitely don't want to be coached. But in a way, I've just found myself speaking to my friends the way that I speak to myself. And then I realized that I'm hardwired to be foolishly optimistic. I have an optimism bias. I look at a situation and it could be very terrible. And yet I'm hardwired to be like, but wait, we're here to learn something. But wait, there's a lesson. Now, make no mistake. When bad and terrible things happen, I feel hurt and I feel gutted. That is the human reaction. But the rate at which people recover, the rate at which people find the silver lining, the rate at which people say, there's got to be a different way to look at this. That's how you define just how optimistic a person is. And that rate of recovery, it's actually very short for me. Not because I'm special or not because I've been given something. It's actually a practice. That if we were to have this conversation, in fact, the Jasmine of 2016, if she were hearing this podcast right now, I'm sure that version of Jasmine would be like, I can't deal with her. Just too much. This is just too far out there. And I want to go back to that Jasmine who might sound a little similar to you right now and just say, can you be open? Because if you're just open to seeing that it is a practice and it is a muscle that you can build, how quickly your life can change. I'm the kind of person, just this morning, I got a text message from a friend and she had said, Jasmine, I think I revert to envy and anger. And I think that this makes me a pessimistic person. And I thought to myself, and which is what I said, I sent her back a voice memo. I just said, excuse me. Hey, you can't talk to my friend that way. You, my friend, cannot talk to the version of my friend you're being mean to. Because from an outsider's perspective, the way that I see this is that you aren't envious and angry. When something bad happens, you become fearful. And your fear comes out like envy. Like somebody is going to get something that was yours. And in that moment, you can make the decision to think or feel something different. How about you decide a different emotion? How about you acknowledge that it is fear? And instead of feeling envious, you use your fear as fuel. But if you keep on looking at it and classifying as I am an angry person, you will never be able to see truly what is underneath the surface and what needs to come out. So why am I having this conversation? Like, why are we talking about this right now? Because I wonder how many people listening are surrounded by a friend who loves them so much that they'll say things that aren't easy to hear. I once heard that an enemy stabs you in the back and a friend stabs you in the front. And so this is me coming in without any notes. I'm sitting in my closet on a bar cart, and to the right of me are hangers and way too many pairs of jeans that I refuse to throw away because I think to myself, one day I'm going to fit back into them. And to the left side of me is a coffee table. So what's a coffee table doing in my closet? Well, my daughter is learning how to walk, and the coffee table has sharp edges. So I just got the idea, let me just put the coffee table in my closet, because clearly that makes a lot of sense. And when you're living in an apartment in around 700 square feet, there's very little storage. So this is me creating one of the top business podcasts next to jeans that don't fit and a coffee table. And I'm doing this because I believe that I need to speak my truth. That I pulled out my mic and I said, I have to say this thing because it's pressing so heavy on my heart. And I want to be the friend that maybe somebody has, or maybe somebody doesn't. So if you don't have that person that will stab you in the front, I'm just going to tell you my truth today. And that my truth today is I believe firmly that you have the opportunity to choose a different emotion, regardless of what you're facing. I don't know if you're feeling sad, lonely, overwhelmed. I don't know if you are fearing the loss of a job, a loved one, a relationship, a parent. I don't know if you're questioning closing your business. I don't know if you're questioning starting a business. But here's one thing that I know. Whatever you are being faced with, you can choose a different emotion. It doesn't change the reality of what you're facing, but it changes how courageously you show up. And today I'm going to ask you and invite you into stepping into courage. Because if we are not courageous, we will never find our way to confidence. And so this is me reminding you that you are in the driver's seat and that you are the captain of your ship. That when you're starting a thing that you want to do, it's going to be hard. If you're hoping that you will have less responsibility and less overwhelm, as a friend, I'm telling you, it only intensifies. The bigger your business gets, the more decisions you have to make. And the bigger those decisions feel. The more systems you have in place to relieve overwhelm is fantastic. But if you decide to grow beyond your current point, you will be faced with another wave of overwhelm that looks entirely different. But I have to tell you that if you figured it out before, you will figure it out again. So today, I invite you into courage. Today, I invite you into the journey. I invite you to say, I'm going to choose a different emotion. Regardless if Jasmine understands where I am, I'm going to choose, I'm going to try, I'm going to work out the emotion of decision and say, today I will try again. Today I will not succumb to fear, I will succumb to faith. Today I'm going to stop listening to the podcast when it's done, and I'm going to do one thing that I haven't want to do, that I kept on pushing off, and or that scares me. I'm going to do that one thing immediately because I was supposed to listen to this podcast. Friend, if that's you, you're supposed to listen to this podcast today. Something was pressing so heavily on my heart that I said, I have to get in the mic and I have to speak my truth. So this is me and my truth, encouraging you to do the thing that you did not want to do today. Scary, overwhelming. If you don't know how, just do it. Thank you for giving me this time. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I appreciate you. If this podcast has resonated at all, maybe in the future, I'll bring out my mic again and just speak my truth. Just as a reminder, just to say, I see you and I appreciate you. And if you're in a little bit of pain, I hope it's because I spoke the truth. I'd love to hear from you. If there's one way that we can truly get connected by way of the podcast, it would be if you left a review. It's just a thing that I read, and it empowers me to keep on pushing forward, even if I don't have all the answers. It's easy to subscribe and leave a review. 5 stars would mean the world to me, friend. Regardless if you choose to do it or not, I'm here for you, and I want to support you. I hope you have a great day.